Hey guys, so in this video I have a story time about the worst experience that I've ever had at a nail salon. I've watched several other YouTubers talk about nail salon horror stories, so I decided to share mine. Mine's not as bad as other people's, but it's up there. Sorry about the lighting. I'm just gonna hop right into the story. So this happened probably a year after I graduated from high school, which would have been somewhere in the late 2011, early 2012. And I was at a nail salon with one of my friends who I don't talk to anymore, but that's irrelated to the story. And it was pretty well known for having like the cheapest prices for acrylic nails. And they had like all these specials for like high school students, but obviously I wasn't in high school anymore, and like my friends would always try to like lie and be like, yeah, I'm still in high school, and like they would get away with it, but then every time I would try, they'd be like, let me see your ID, and I'm just like, well, secret's out. So I went in with this girl this one day, and I just wanted to get acrylics, and like I had never really gotten acrylics. The first time I got them was like when I went to prom my senior year, so I'd never really gotten them before, and so I wasn't very big on them, and I didn't know a lot. And I went to this place, and the lady had asked me like,
do you want acrylics or gels?
And my friend was like, we both want acrylics, like that's what it's gonna be, like we both just want like regular acrylics. So she's like,
oh, like what kind do you want? And
of course, like with a really heavy, some sort of Asian accent, and I'm just like, oh, just like a French tip. My friend was getting the exact same thing, and unfortunately we were sitting like away from each other, and like I wasn't big on acrylics still, so I didn't really know the process. Like now if I go into a nail salon, I know the correct process, so if they do something that like differs from what it should be, I'll know. But at the time I didn't. So she asked me like another time, she was like,
oh, are you getting acrylics or gels?
I was like, acrylics. And then like 5 minutes later she asked me like the same question, and she was like,
acrylics?
and I said yes. So we're finishing up, you know, the service was fine, like she did the nails fine, you know, whatever. And my friend go to pay, and my friend, her total comes out to like 25 or whatever the total was there. And then she rings up mine, and she rings it up for like $45. And I'm like,
wait a minute, what? Like, we got the same thing.
She's like, no.
Oh no, you got gel. And
I'm like,
no, I asked for acrylic. Like, I'm pretty sure I asked for acrylic.
and she's like, no, I asked you if you wanted gel and you said yes. And I was like, no, you asked if I wanted acrylic and I said yes. So there was like a miscommunication somewhere, and this lady was like not like budging on the fact that she just gave me gels, and I was like, I'm not paying $45, I'm sorry. And so I was like, I was under the impression that I was getting acrylic nails, so I'm not paying $45 for gel nails. And she was like throwing a fit about this, and I'm just like, I would understand if it was like a $10 difference, but we're at like a $20 difference now. Like there's no way. It might have even been higher than 45. It might have been 50 or 55. Like I don't even know. So I don't even remember. This was 4 years ago, so it was a while back. And I was just like, I'm not paying. So my friend like steps in, and she's just like, she asked for acrylics, like we walked in saying the exact same thing, like there's no way she's paying 45. So the lady ended up like negotiating the price down to like 30, which I was just like, or 35, and I'm just like, cool. So I'm paying $10 extra, like cool, for something that like I didn't even want. The lady like didn't offer to take them off and like re-put the acrylics on my nails. So I was like, you know what? Whatever, you know, fine, I'll pay whatever. And I'm just like, I don't even remember if I tipped her. Probably not, because I was like annoyed, and I was like, how are you gonna like ask me if I want acrylics or gels and then give me gels and then try to like charge me like a ridiculous amount of money? Like how are you gonna do that? And she kept referring to like their price board, and she was like, see, acrylics are this much and gels are this much. And I'm like, I understand, and I would pay for it if I asked for gels, but I didn't. Like I asked for acrylics, and you misunderstood me and gave me gels, so just let me pay the price of acrylics. And like that was not going down for her. But now as I'm telling this story, I think of another story that happened at the same nail salon with a different friend, like when I was still in high school. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell that one. So me and one of my friends went in pretty like close to the time that they were closing. Same nail salon, not gonna say where it is or the name of it or whatever, because I don't even remember the name of it. I haven't gone there in a long time, but I walked in with one of my friends, and we walked in probably at like 8:15, and they close at 9, and so we were like the last customers that they took, and I was just getting like basic acrylics, like painted black, you know, the basics. And so the application of the acrylics were fine. Like, I knew what the right and wrong steps were from like previous experiences, so I was prepared on that front. My friend was getting like, I don't know if she was getting French tip or just like a color, but I was just getting like basic black nails. Like, this might have been like late, it probably was when I was still in high school, or maybe like a year after high school. It was a while ago, but I'm pretty sure I was getting black nails, and it was around Halloween. It gets to be like 8:45, 8:50, and by this time we have our nails like under the light to dry. And we had been sitting there for like 5 minutes, and anyone knows, like, if you're drying nail polish, like, you really want to make sure that it's completely dry, because like if you touch it or whatever, it like dents very, very easily. So we had been sitting with our hands under the lights for probably 5-ish minutes, and the people were like so impatient to get out, and I was like, okay, I know we came in at like 8:15, but like, don't rush me, because like if it like chips, I'm gonna be angry. So they're like, oh
No, you're fine. Like, you're fine. You're good. Like, you've been here long enough, like, you can go.
and me and my friend are like, yeah, okay, probably not, but you know, whatever. So I'm trying like my hardest. We had already paid. I was trying my hardest to like not touch anything, and so I like had my keys and I was holding them like this, and I open my car door and I get in the car and I touch my nail to the steering wheel, okay? And like the entire like middle part of my thumbnail, like the polish just like peeled up and like fell off. And I was like, are you serious? So then me and my friend had to get back out of the car and walk right back inside, and the ladies are like,
Yeah, like, we're closed. And
I was like,
Yeah, I know, but like you rushed me, my hands out of the light, and now my finger, like my nail polish chipped.
and they're like,
oh, like, okay. And
I'm like, can you fix it? Like, cause it was like the entire like a little strip of like my nail polish just like peeled off, and I was like, you've gotta be kidding me, like, seriously? So then we ended up like, they had to, you know, stay open later to redo my nail, and then let me like dry for the full amount of time. And then I'm pretty sure they ended up like rushing us out the second time, and I was just like, seriously, like, you didn't learn from mistakes the first time that you do it again? Like, okay, whatever. But yeah, so those were my two, like, I guess they're kind of like horror stories from a nail salon, my two nail salon stories, like, whatever. But that's it for this week's story time. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the down bar below, and I'll see you in my next video.